Hi, this is Dr. Stephen with Outclick Magazine. Today we're here to talk about an amazing show at the Broward Center called Men Who Dance. Rafi, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you for having me here and this opportunity.
Thank you. We've got some other people coming. Right now, give us a quick teaser about the show and what it's like.
Well, first of all, the show Men Who Dance came from an experience I had while I was a teacher at Miami City Ballet, where I had met Edward Villela, who there was a film about him called Man Who Dances. And I really loved the idea of how he explored the different roles of masculinity in that time through his roles with Balanchine. And when I started producing choreography for him, I said, ooh, there's something here that I really want to explore that I think as a society we need to do. And for this show, which is coming up on November 28th, I had the pleasure of inviting some of the top companies in South Florida to explore this theme with me. And it became a snowball effect that it came into a full concert. So you'll have a chance to chat with some of the artistic directors and some of the dancers and get their input on, for them, what this deconstruction and reconstruction of masculinity on stage meant for them in regards to the art form.
We're going to watch a clip about it, but I want to reiterate, it's Saturday, November 28th, 2020, at 8 p.m. here at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. So we've got a video clip that's very well done. We're going to show the video clip, so I'm going to ask Arthur to pull that in for us right now. We're going to get the audio in. We have to click the audio. It takes 2 steps, and sometimes we have to go back and re-click it in again. So we'll pull that in. Here we go.
The essence of Men Who Dance is to deconstruct the stereotypes, all stereotypes of men. The purpose of it is to reevaluate what is masculinity on stage without the stereotypes and be daring to explore them. So through Men Who Dance, what we want to bring forth is a whole new awareness, a whole new generation of people feeling not just welcoming, but embracing the idea that men will be on stage, should be on stage, and support that as well.
So all 3 of you will be around at the moment. And if you need to, you get stuck back there.
But that's your journey. You're the choreographer. So I'm just throwing this to be like a buffet.
He's not going to do this part. So kind of spot in your turn. You're going to move around, you're going to finish.
We hope to be next year in Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, and Italy. And the best of from those festivals will then feed the festival here for next November, which we already are booked in again. And eventually it becomes a network of expression of masculinity as it belongs to each country. And so we are interested in bringing that forward to the main stage.
We've got some several guests we're going to pop in. Rafi, give us some, while Arthur is popping everybody in, tell us more about the inspiration for this show and how it came about. You've got some phenomenal dance companies and people. Tell us about the inspiration for the show.
Well, I get to travel a lot, and I see in different countries a lot of similarities with the way that people approach the fact of men on stage. And there are a lot of negative stereotypes, there are positive stereotypes. In my travels through Latin America, I've seen stuff, but here in particular, with this show, I think what we're challenged is like defining, what exactly is masculinity? We have that as such a label, and unfortunately, in some places, people say, "Oh, it's machismo," but machismo is all over the world. It doesn't belong to just one culture. And I think that unfortunately, even amongst ourselves, I was commenting with a reporter the other day, Hollywood throws out always in a dance movie, it's the strong, hip hop boy dancer who falls in love with that elegant, soft ballet dancer. And I'm like, where's the movie where it's the strong hip hop girl dancer who falls with the elegant ballet dancer or concert dancer? So even that is a stereotype that is pushed on us in the media. And I have seen the work of all the companies who are here. Some of people have been my colleagues. We've worked together, and I have so much of a desire to bring our work much more visible in themes that I think we really need to discuss in this time. While we're making decisions over women's bodies, I think we need to talk decisions about what is it that we define as masculinity. So I'm going to let the company directors and dancers take it from there and express their opinions.
That's fascinating, the message that you're portraying through this. Let's start with Ray. Ray, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you're with Tango Out. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Tell us about Tango Out. Tell us about your part in this show as well, Ray.
Sure, Stephen. Thank you for having us. And so basically, I direct Ray Sullivan Dance, and I work specifically with concert dance, contemporary dance, and tango. And I run an initiative with Tango, which is called Tango Out. And Tango Out works specifically focused on the LGBTQ community and the immigrant communities. And we work here in South Florida, as well as in Europe and South America and North America. Those are our major focuses. I'm based throughout the year, either in Miami or Buenos Aires or Santiago de Chile. And the work we do, sort of deconstructing the idea and the concepts of what traditional roles are in tango, the coming together of couples, really represents as a microcosm, the greater society and what we feel with, queer tango, that we can express about what love is, what relationships are, what coming together is in non-traditional circumstances. And so we created a piece, I choreographed a piece that is called Connected Sight. Originally, it was created to express and honor and remember the 49 that were lost in Orlando Impulse nightclub. And that duet I danced with Luis Vivas, who's the co-creator of Tango Out with me. And so we're really happy to bring it to the stage to be a part of this really wonderful performance with all these great colleagues and companies and wonderful artists that are joining us. It's really beautiful.
Wow. So how does the message get portrayed? Is it through the lyrics, or is it projection, or what is? Are you allowed to even reveal that, or
allowed? I don't know what I'm allowed to do. What am I allowed to do? No.
You don't want to spoil anything. But.
No, there's no lyrics in this particular piece. So we chose to use an electronic version of a Piazzolla piece, Año de Soledad. And it's portrayed using a specific element on stage that we use and in our dancing, and in the understanding of me following Luis. In this case, he leads and I follow him. And I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to, as you said, no spoiler alerts, but that's about what it is.
Okay, fabulous. That's amazing. And then we have Diego and Hannah. Those are your last names up there. You are from Dance Now Miami. So tell us about your organization and then your part of the show.
Thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be here, and we're excited to be a part of the inaugural edition of Men Who Dance. Our company is in our 21st season. We have our home base in Miami, but we have performed and traveled internationally. And we try to fulfill a mission to inspire, educate, and entertain through the art form of dance. And that happens through our community classes, our performances, our site-specific events, and our education. For this particular show, we're presenting two different works. The first is a solo from a longer ballet that was originally presented by Joffrey II and later the Joffrey Ballet Company, called Lacrimosa. It was choreographed by a gentleman named Edward Steerley in 1988. And he, while choreographing the entire work, he was suffering from AIDS in secret, and he dedicated the piece to Robert Joffrey, the director of the company, who was really in his demise at that moment from AIDS. So the piece was created with this idea, and it is danced to Mozart's Requiem, which he wrote while he was also dying. So there's a multiple layers of reflection about that situation, which now, when we first performed the work in 2016, our community in South Florida was in a HIV and AIDS epidemic crisis. We had been at that time the largest new numbers of HIV and AIDS for young men between 18 and 23, a number that was greater than sub-Saharan Africa for the rise of AIDS and HIV in our communities. And so we were very honored to be able to present the work, but also to raise awareness through many LGBTQ community members and organizations about this crisis.
And that is danced by one of our lead dancers, Anthony Velasquez, and he's gonna be moving you to tears. How powerful his performance is. The second piece that we present is called "In the Eye of the Cytokine Storm," and it's inspired. It's part of a larger piece that Hannah and I are just creating now, which is called "This Moment Here," which will debut December 13 here in Miami. But this section is a section of three men. And in the eye of the cytokine storm is what happens when you get COVID-19 and your immune system starts attacking the virus, but then it spirals out of control and ends up attacking the whole body. So, and eventually bringing the person to death. So it is a very, athletic and intense piece. We're still in the finishing touches of it. And it's going to be performed by our three male dancers, Matthew Hiffner, David Harris, and Joshua Rosado. And again, another athletic piece and with three powerful men on stage performing.
That's amazing. We've come so far with the HIV and AIDS crisis, but we still have so far to go. We work with numerous organizations for testing and providing the medications, but we still have so much education to go and so far to go. So that's great that you are doing that together. We have Carlos.
But we know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we know that so much of the success they're having treating COVID-19 is coming from all the years of research and work. And Fauci and Birx were so involved in creating the antivirals, and it's been essential for us, especially in this unusual moment.
Yeah, what an interesting time that we're going through. Yes, and Carlos and Ryan, you are with Dimensions Dance Theater. If you could tell us about your individual pieces and your dance company.
I'm Carlos Guerra. I'm the co-founder, artistic director of Dimension Dance Theater of Miami. Okay. And we are presenting three pieces, on this program. First of all, we are very excited to be part of this with such a great organizations at the same time and share the theater on these hard times, right? And do the first, live performance for our audience and our community. I think it's wonderful. So one of the pieces, the three pieces that we are presenting, they are a great representation of masculinity in different ways. I'm going to talk about two of them. One is Shogun, is a duet by two of our guys, choreographed by Ivan S. She's a choreographer from Brazil, and this one is represents the masculinity in a different way, much more reserved style of a Japanese martial arts form. The second piece is a big ballet from the great choreographer Vicente Nebrada, Venezuelan choreographer Vicente Nebrada, and this is going to be just a section of 4 guys on the piece because the whole piece is 20 minutes. So we just got that section of the males for guys, and then it's a different bravura there. It's a Latino bravura machismo in this one. And the next piece, I'm gonna let Ryan talk about it because Ryan choreographed that piece. It's a solo that he did.
Hi, Ryan. You've got a solo. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos, and thank you, Stephen and Rafi, for letting me be a part of this new evolution in our performing arts. During the pandemic, it was really difficult to see the direction of where everything was going to happen with our art form. And I think right now more than ever, it's really important to show audiences something new and something to move them in a different way that maybe hasn't before, compared to being in the theater. And being able to adapt during this time is really important, and being able to present this stuff, I think, will really help audiences to feel a new passion for dance. My piece is a self-portrait inspired by the music. The music was composed by a friend of mine, Peter Kolkliger, and I've always wanted to use this music for something for myself, to kind of show myself. And I think right now is a great time to do that, being able to come back to the stage and kind of pinpoint those nuances and express myself is really exciting. And I'm really grateful for all of this performance. I love the inspiration of the show, and it really shows a progressive take on one of the new ways to adapt to these circumstances. So thank you guys.
This is so exciting to get to see all of these different performers on stage and just to get the sampling of this. This is really exciting. I'm excited to get to go back and see a live performance. The last we have is Roberto. Roberto, you're the publicist. Before I get into that, tell us about your role and about the show too.
Well, yeah, my role is going to get publicity about the show, and so far, we have a pretty good lineup. If you don't mind my saying here, we'll be featured in Art Burst, we'll be featured in the Miami Herald, El Nuevo Herald, on NBC6 in the mix, a little mention there, WLRN FM and Telemundo Acceso Total, also a little mention. I'm personally fascinated with Rafi's topic because of Men Who Dance. As a publicist who's worked for Miami City Ballet and a person who still does freelance work for different dancers and dance companies, the whole topic about Men Who Dance and Boy Who Dance is still, it's still a topic which is still being discussed. And I'll give you an example. I mean, when I was a little boy, I wanted to dance, and my parents were told, well, it's not a good thing for Roberto to take dance classes because that might change him. But they never explained what that meant. Okay, I was taking martial arts and wrestling, so you gotta wonder if the thing was going to change. It was going to be the wrestling. So there were all these negative connotations and misconceptions about dance and masculinity. I remember when I was at Miami City Ballet, when there were auditions for the Miami City Ballet School, for kids 6, 7, and 8, there was this intense competition for the girls. However, for the boys, it was, as long as the boy could walk and touch his toes, he was pretty much in. So that still exists in terms of just this connotation, the silly and sexist and homophobic connotations about men who dance and masculinity. And I'll give you 2 very funny examples how, when I was a publicist, I tried to promote this. But when I was working in Miami City Ballet, I was telling Edward Villela, who was a publicist, hey, I can get two male dancers who are now married and living with women to go on the Paul and Young show to talk about how being a dancer, you get a lot of women, because one thing that male dancers have in common, they're all handsome. You cannot meet an ugly male dancer. They're all handsome. They all have great bodies. And, they're very lucky in the romance department. Edward, of course, shot that down. And And then I thought, when I was with Miami City Ballet in Paris in July of 2011, when we were performing for a full month at the Théâtre de Châtelet, I thought, okay, now I can really prove how masculine ballet dancers are, because the night before we were going to perform, we were in the metro, and the Miami City Ballet dancers got in a fist fight. Okay, it was great. Francisco
Was there? I remember.
Francisco Reno, the pianist, punched the guy, and as I remember, Renato Penteato kicked the guy in the chest, and Edward took a punch, and I was ready. Okay, gonna prove this alpha male stuff. And Miami City Ballet dancers, here they are the night before they're performing in the big up on the metro, and then I was shocked that the press didn't want to do anything because it would make us look bad. And I said, oh my God, the media not doing something which may make someone look bad. So those were the two opportunities I lost about trying to debunk the stereotypes of men who dance and everything. So that's my experience.
Okay.
That story. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's funny, that story, Roberto, because I remember we had just finished actually the performance. We were on the way back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And when we got to the hotel, I remember Edward and everybody was there, and Edward had his hand full of blood from the glass shatter from the windows. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
You know, Stephen, it's interesting when you put it in context, right? Because what Roberto just said, the fear of tarnishing that image, but yet when you turn on the nightly news at 6 and any sports team has a brawl, it's like, oh, look at this brawl with the basketball team or the baseball team or their football team. But God forbid, like, oh, look at this brawl with these dancers. That just, you know, and as he's talking about it, I just saw this last night on the news with a sports team. So that's a stereotype right there, you know.
Yeah.
There are 3 other companies that will be in the show. One is Miami City Ballet, who might I say that the piece that Hannah and Diego are doing in the Eye of the Psychotime is a world premiere. We have 4 world premieres that will be in the show. One is being done by Miami City Ballet called Solitude and Solstice. And this is a piece that kind of delves with the strains and the challenges of the dancers who have been confined in small spaces and still training and separated from their colleagues and audiences, and how they warriored on and now finally get back on stage. And the other piece is really interesting. It's Cuban Classical Ballet, who's doing a joint performance with Florida Grand Opera to live music. They have a young artist, burgeoning young tenor. His name is Dylan Elza. He'll be accompanied by Paul Schwartz, and they'll be performing live to Donizetti's Una Furtiva Lagrima. That's a really strong piece called Unbound, and he kind of seesaws with the idea, if men didn't have to play these roles of I'm the partner, you're the one being partnered, but the roles switching and playing with that in the theme. And then the other person that we have on stage is a capoeira master, Mestre Gustavo Guru. And I thought that was really important because here in South Florida, we have over 250,000 Brazilians who are living here. And I think that it's important that they be connected to the community that they call home. And that is the main stage as well. And he's bringing capoeira from the sense of the historical origin. People see capoeira and they think it's folkloric dancing with samba, and it's not. It's actually a disguised form of martial arts that the African indigenous community practice to dissuade punishment from their European masters. So it actually has a very sobering beginning. And all of these statements that you've just heard, somebody asked me, I really don't like rhetoric when it comes to the arts. Oh, arts are transformative, arts, improve our lives. Well, how? How does it improve our lives? Well, just listening to these companies, when I see how they're taking on the distresses that we are faced with, we elevate them and we remind ourselves through the art form, how great our humanity is to resolve and to come. When you leave this show, you will be talking about these pieces. It's not, oh, that was pretty. Oh, that move was nice. No, these pieces have intention, they have a journey, and they have thought. And I think that that's what I'm so excited about the show. I think the show is very different to when people just go to concert dance. And I think I'm so proud honored to work with these colleagues, because every single one understands this. And when we have our conversations, we are so like-minded. And I think the community in South Florida, needs to be represented in different ways as well. So that's Men Who Dance.
This is one example of why the arts are so important. They make our culture better. They make people better. They make us better. Why they must be funded. I'm a huge champion, obviously, of funding the arts, because they are what helps make our culture better. Why we've got to figure something out to get them going again, because it's inspirational, whether it's the symphony or the opera or dance or whatever it is. There's that message, and sometimes it's direct and sometimes it's indirect, but you leave a better person. You leave inspired. I've been an organist and a pianist my whole life, and I will tell you, when the music shut down and church shut down, it was very hard on me, and not being able to hear the music and be inspired like that. But help me to understand, was this conceived before COVID, or was this purely after COVID as a result?
This was conceived pre-COVID.
Okay.
The original date for the show was May 23rd. Okay. After a lot of negotiations to make sure everyone's season worked, so we could have what day. And as it would come about, because of the pandemic, now we are the only opportunity to be on stage before the end of the year again since March. So it kind of changed a lot. We were very fortunate, and I have to say the Broward Center really liked this program. And while many other shows got flat out canceled, they postponed us, and they found us a date that they thought we could be on stage, and thank God it really worked out. So good. Kudos to them for also saying this is important.
Good. But Broward Center is one of our key partners. They're wonderful people to work with. This is a really exciting show. We're glad you're going to be doing it. You've broken down the silos of getting all the groups together, and you get to see all these together is really exciting. Again, it's Saturday, November 28th, 2020 at 8 p.m. at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Arthur's going to put up the website so we can see that. Is there anything you wanted to cover that we didn't ask?
Buy tickets.
buy tickets. Buy tickets. I'm telling everyone.
Yes. Just one last thing, Stephen.
Okay.
People who are thinking about coming to the space, it is very easy to go online and see that they have taken every precaution to keep the audience safe. I think that's very important to say.
The Broward Center worked very, very hard to make this happen. If anybody thinks of every detail, it's the folks at the Broward Center. Yes, absolutely.
This is a show that is a reduced audience. It's only 174 seats, and half of those thankfully are gone already. We need more gone, but yes, they're doing what you said. If anyone's in the lead right now, it's them with all of the precautions they're taking.
As I've said on other shows, this is the time to get out your checkbook and credit cards and support the arts. Donate, buy tickets. Even if you're just buy tickets, donate. We've got to keep them alive. This is crucial to our culture, crucial to our children. The research shows that arts integrated into education works for children. It works for just to make our kids better. So this works for adults and everything. So get out your credit cards and checkbooks and donate to all these wonderful organizations. Buy tickets to the show. We're excited to have it. So again, it's November. Let me pull the date up again here. November 28th 2020. All right, thank you so much. If you'd like to, Arthur's going to put up the website again there for us. There we go, browardcenter.org is their main website. And if you'd like to know more about us, you can text, here we go, OCQ to 22828 to stay updated on us. Thank you, everyone. It's been a lot of fun hearing about this phenomenal show. Let me ask one more thing. Are you excited to be on stage?
Very excited.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
So
Very
what
good.
this is the best way to be on stage and come back again, being with all these wonderful colleagues, and thanks
Yeah.
to Rafi for putting this show together. I mean, we are thrilled to collaborate, all of us together, and be back on stage will be great and give back to the community what we love to do, right?
Very good.
You
Thank
can
you
feel the love.
Thank you for joining us. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a great day.